So I, when thinking about Bruce, and I wrote basically a book, 43,000 words, a novella-length book about Bruce's poems, comparing him to 20, 25 other poets of different stripes. I think Bruce and his mental ills are inextricable for this reason, in that unlike someone like I mentioned, Henry Dodger. For anyone who doesn't know, or Joel doesn't know, Henry Dodger was a guy who lived. He was a janitor. He lived about 70 years. This in the early 1970s. He had been an orphan. He had been sexually abused as a child, and people, when they found him afterwards, found his apartment disheveled. But they found this huge book of where he wrote these a so-called book about little girls with penises, and he would do doodles that copied from magazines of the 20s and 30s and 40s, and people were saying, "Oh, this is great found art and whatnot." But I actually read some of the stuff and I saw some of the doodles, and there really wasn't any creativity other than putting stuff together. This was clearly someone who was not there intellectually, and he couldn't make great art. Bruce could make great art. Bruce had the foundation of the intellect. And I think what happened was his accident or his mental ills, or the combination of those things in those few years, gave him a parallax on life different. I said to you the other day, Alex, that Bruce is almost like a Marvel superhero, in that if he hadn't had the accident, he probably would have settled down. He would have pursued his dream. He probably would have found a woman to marry, to have a couple of kids, have a job, maybe if he'd gotten through law school. But once that was all kiboshed, once life put that, Bruce is left adrift, and it afforded him a freedom to look at life and think of things in a totally different way. And that's one of the things that separates great artists. It's not that Bruce had mental ills. Bruce is a great poet. That's the important thing. Whether when I go around talking to other people, hopefully in the next year or so, on different shows like this for their different YouTube channels or whatnot. Number one, Bruce was a great artist, a great poet, and then secondarily a great novelist, because the poetry is the meat. I mean, he invented a form. I gave it the title, the name of an Ario, but he invented this prose form, and I can't conceive that he would have done this had he been happy. It was, I think, this restlessness, this sense of loss, this sense of needing something, whether it's Jesus or art or whatnot. This is what connects Bruce. So he's a great artist, but that he did this with his mental ills is the thing that's mind blowing. And you know, I mentioned some of the things about Bruce earlier, with his guilt about the nylons or the woman who was obese or whatnot. And I think Bruce is an archetype example of the difference between happiness and accomplishment. When I would talk to Bruce, there was always a sort of sighing resign to the fact that he was never going to have the typical, nuclear family of life. But by the same token, what life took away from him on a personal level, it gave him the impetus, and he created, but the opportunity to give back to society in a way that 50, 100 years from now, when people are saying, well, Emily Dickinson and Bruce Ario, poets who are different, he will be thought of in that vein. And I want him to be thought of in that vein, because quite frankly, I think he's a better poet than Emily Dickinson, but that's an argument for another show. But
I hope you're right, by the way. I would love to have that be part of the Aerial legacy, but we'll see.
yeah, and so I think, one of the things, when people talk about, they only want their kids to be happy. I'm sure all of Bruce's parents, his parents and his family wanted that for him, but it's better that, I've always said, that's a selfish view of life. It's better that you give something back to society, and I think the things that Bruce went through were a boon for the rest of the people that he worked with, that at the church that he went to. You mentioned Tasks Unlimited, the United Methodist Church in of Hennepin Avenue, I think it is, and this basically transformed Bruce into someone who is from someone who was conventional and wanting conventional things to someone who was in the actual, most definitive term, he was non-pareil. This isn't to say he was the greatest poet. It wasn't not to say City Boy is the greatest novel, but there's no one like Bruce Ario, and there never will be, because he has his own little corner of the universe in these two books that I've edited of almost 600 poems. There's no one like, he isn't just like a lot of these people who, they have this, that, or the other thing wrong with them, or they play up for sympathies because of they're from this group or from this religious group, or whatever it might be. Bruce is first and foremost a great poet and great writer, and secondarily, he'll probably become, I think, an avatar of mental ills if his reputation can get out there. They will say, well, if a man who had, all the things we've listed that went wrong in his life, if he can come and do this, people say, well, can't you be like Bruce Ario? And I think that's one of the things that's important, but it's not nearly as important as he's a great artist first and foremost.